Hello and welcome to my channel. NAIRA again from Phantom Production. Today I have a tutorial for you guys. I want to show a quick vocal mixing review here, or a breakdown of this simple vocal and the process that I approach this vocal and the way I approach this vocal. So guys, let's get started to it. So here is the project. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so whenever I upload content you wouldn't get to miss out. So here's the project. I want us to listen to the project.
Yeah, I'm my baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart
Purchase your tracks today.
She too fine, she make other boys grace. When they see my baby, they wonderful. Yeah, I know they vote.
Okay, let's listen to another section of the song.
Yeah.
Wahala day, day. And the boys make them know all day. And then no come holiday. I stress you, that me day. I'm a parent in the holiday. I got many power, go fight it day. Me and you go day and day. As I day, love you like say my head on that. I got too many things I got to eat. I swear because salad Maggie. Tell me Sarah to make them choppy and Maggie. Boy king, me I get many things to say. Thanks to Lord, me and you there. Sweet love, I swear.
Okay, actually that's the song. It was performed by Boy King and Boy Race. So actually it's a downloaded beat. They downloaded this beat, the MP3 format, and they bought it that they want to record and let me do something. So we did the recording. If you look here, you will see you will see it here. We did the recording and there's some few takes and I decided to project it to you guys. Let's listen without any processing.
I'm my baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart
Okay, that's without any processing. Okay, let me tell you guys this. So this vocal was recorded with a condenser one microphone. Actually, it's a Samsung CO1 microphone, and it's really a good microphone for home studio. It's not really that expensive. I got this $120. It's a good microphone. So I will advise you guys now, whenever you want to use a microphone or select a microphone for recording, make sure the microphone is not that cheap. It depends on your preference, but make sure don't get those very cheap microphones because those very cheap microphones have a lot of self noise, and most of the time the vocal will sound so harsh. So if we solo this vocal without the beat, so listen.
I'm my baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart
So that's the raw vocal with this Samsung CO1 microphone. You can hear the sound. It's not really harsh, and let's listen again.
Yeah. I'm my baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart
The microphone sound good. Okay, now let's listen with effects.
Yeah. I'm my baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart
Purchase your tracks today.
She too fine, she make other boys grace. When they see my baby, they wonderful.
Okay guys, so that's it. So let me run you through what I did here. So I told you just a breakdown. So the first thing I applied on this vocal was to get the vocal. So now this is a dead dog plugin. So I applied the get at the default state is already good. The next thing was to tune the vocal, and I used this the tune assets from Antaras. So that's it. So I'll be showing you guys, it's just a quick breakdown. The next effect here is NLX channel from Waves. Now, most of the time you will see me using NLX channel on my vocal mixes because it's a simple plugin which was modeled after 3 analog console board. And here I went with the spike here. The spike is the SSL console board. And what this does is just to add some harmonics to the vocal. So you just pull up the drive and use it. So now, if you don't have this NLX channel, there are other alternatives that you can use. What I did here was just to add harmonics. So you can look for any saturation plugin and pull the drive to get that harmonics. So the next effect was an EQ. It's a channel strip, okay? It has filter section, compressor here, which is the dynamic section, and the expander and the gate section here. But what I focused here was just the EQ section. Now I did high pass filter here, right up to 120. In the high frequency here, I boosted the 8K region to about 5 dB. At the high mid frequency here, this section, I did nothing. And here around the low mid frequency, around 500 here, I did a 5 dB cut and the Q was normal. So when this Q here, when you go to the right, meaning you are widening the Q, but when you are to the left like this, you're narrowing the Q. So if you look here, this little section here, you will see the bell type. That's all what I did with the EQ. So the next thing I did was to apply compressor. Yeah, this is the first compressor, and this is a Fruity Stack compressor. I usually love using this compressor because with this compressor, I'll rely but on my ears. So what I did with this compressor, my ratio here was 5:1, and you can see the attack, I left it at 50 milliseconds. The release here, 200 milliseconds. Then the threshold here, I left it to negative 21. The type here, I selected the vintage. Then I boosted the makeup gain here to about 5 dB. So that's it with the compressor. The next thing was another EQ. This is a parametric EQ from stock one from FL Studio. I see roll off some lows here, and I did about 100 roll off here. I did a cut here around 448 here in this frequency. Then I boosted this region around 6K, about 1.5 dB. Then now, since I did all that stuff and I was losing gain, due to the compression and the EQ. So when you're cutting things, the vocal, you will discover that the overall volume, the signal is getting lower. So I boosted it a little bit here to make up for the gain that I've lost due to the cuts here. So that's it with the EQ. The next thing here was to add a flanger. Most of the time I usually add flanger just for the sake that I want that movement. You wouldn't notice it that much in a mix. This one helps the vocal not to sound so mono. So the next effect on the chain was to add in Sound Goodizer. Now I consider Sound Goodizer as my saturation plugin, and also especially this A type has a nice sheen that it has on the vocal that I like, and it does not make it to be too harsh, but I love hearing it with this Sound Goodizer, especially this A type. But you can use B, it depends your preference. So that's what I did there. And the next thing was to add in another compressor. So I want my vocal to really be consistent when you hear it. Because of this dynamic changes here, this certain section on the vocal, because I did not do any form of automation. And when I'm too lazy, I don't do automation. So look at the dynamic here. See that this position here is high, and here is this section is really low. That's why I added this second compressor to really tame it.
Me, I got many things to say. Thanks a lot, me and you there. Sweet, sweet love, I swear we day.
So that's another section of another part of the song that we just listened. So the last thing I added was a de-esser. This one is just to tame some frequency, those high frequency, so it wouldn't be painful in the ear. So let's listen with it.
Me, I got many things to say. Thanks a lot, me and you there.
So when you look here, you will see how it's taming the S's here. It shouldn't sound so obvious and painful in the ear. The next thing I added was this doubler. So I sent the vocal to this doubler. I just left it at default. So when you go in, you just select doubler for 4 vocals, okay? I just left it at default. Then I send the vocal here. That's all. The next form effects that I just applied was, I call these 2 effects sweetening effects. That is the reverb and the delay. Let's listen with the reverb.
Yeah. My baby, she too fine. When I there with her, my heart decay.
So you can hear that reverb. It's a stock reverb from FL Studio. And what I did here now, since it's on a central, I just increase the wetness, remove the dry. We don't need it because we are using it on a central. So we're just sending the vocal into the wet reverb. We don't need that dry again. I increase the room size to 100, then cut some lows and also do it a little cut here with the high, so the reverb will not compete with the main vocal. I left everything at default state, and here I didn't even do anything with the pre-delay. Most of my mixes you will see me doing some pre-delay because reverb is also a time-based effect, but I left it like that because I want the vocal to just sink into the reverb, let it be wet, let the vocal not sound dry. That's what I did. And also I EQ the reverb again, apply this EQ, cut off some lows, increase this section for it to be bright. Then I took down the highs here. So that's it. So the next effect is just a delay. So what I did with the delay, let's listen with the delay.
Yeah, yeah. My baby, she too fine. When I day with her, my heart decay.
The delay I use here is Echo Boy from Sound Toys. It's a good delay plugin. I usually love using Echo Boy because it has tempo information here and also has tempo sync. It has a saturation section where you can add in some saturation, and it also has timing, has note, it has dot, it has trim, and it has EQ section also. So if you want to EQ your delay, you can just EQ it. So it's simple as that. So I just, with the EQ section here, I just cut off some lows and increase the wetness. What I did was just to send the vocal to the delay, and this was the amount that I've sent. So now when you are using delay and reverb, just play with your instrumental and see the amount that you can apply it. So that's all I did with this vocal. Let's listen to the mixed version.
Wahala day, day. And the boys make them know all day. And then you come holiday. I stress you, that me day. I'm a better in the holiday. I got many power, go fight it day. Me and you go day and day. As I day, love you like say my head on that. I got too many things I got to eat. I swear we go salad my geek.
Okay, let me show you what I did with this backing vocal here. Now what I do with this backing vocal is I just use same effects on the chain, then increase the reverb. Now here is it. So I just increase the reverb, the amount of reverb on the backing vocal to send the vocal back. So if you listen with the mix, you will discover the vocal back in the mix.
Wahala day, day. And the boys make them know all day. And then you come holiday. I stress you, that me day. I'm a better in the holiday. I got many power, go fight it day. Me and you go day and day.
Okay guys, so that's it. That's a simple process that we did with this vocal, and it's already sounding good and nice. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to our channel. Also hit the notification bell, so whenever I upload content, you will get to be notified. Thanks for watching and enjoy.
My baby, she too fine. When I day with